Before we get into the video, I just want to say that I quite enjoyed Maul Shadow Lord. This video is not by any means a comprehensive review of that show, and I just want to clear the air on whether or not I actually liked it, and I'm coming into this video with a good faith stance. I'm simply making this as a reaction to some glaring issues that have definitely been highlighted by the series. So today I'm just going to spend some time ranting. I've got a few points, but I plan on jumping around from point to point throughout the video and just kind of saying how I feel. Alright, let's get into it. Disney Star Wars is not very good. Wow, what an original take. But seriously, I'm a high schooler who grew up with the sequels, and in the last 6 years, I've seen the Star Wars fandom devolve into a cesspool of toxicity where nuance simply just does not exist. Andor, the best Disney Plus show, has some flaws. Obi-Wan Kenobi, the worst Disney Plus show, has some good qualities. Granted, I can count those good qualities on one hand, but still, it's not entirely bad. And I feel like I'm roped in with grifters like Nerdrotic or Star Wars Theory when I say that I hate Disney Star Wars, and that's just not the case. I don't look at a show like The Acolyte and think, this is awful. I look at a show like The Acolyte and think, gosh, they fumbled this fantastic concept. Star Wars has become the ultimate potential man, and I think there's two reasons why. Reason number one, style over substance has been the norm. For a long time now, Star Wars has abandoned storytelling for its visuals and style. This goes hand in hand with my next point, which I will get to, but let's take a look at The Acolyte, for example. A lot of people remember this series fondly, or at least not horribly, because of the fight scenes, which are admittedly okay. It's certainly not the best lightsaber fighting in the saga, not by a long shot, but it is eye-catching and admittedly fun to watch. A lot of people, when asked to defend the show, point to these scenes as proof of why their sacred cow is a misunderstood masterpiece. It's not even particularly good style either. Most of these shows look the exact same, and that's not a compliment. Check out the amount of shaky cam in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. This is awful. And coming from a director as well-renowned as Deborah Chow, just extremely disappointing. Regardless, it's pretty clear that good characters and writing quality are being sacrificed for the sake of hype moments and aura. Point number two, Dave Filoni and viewer-constructed stories. I don't like saying that I don't like Dave Filoni, because I feel like he's a fine creative, but he's not great at executing these creative concepts. Let's take a look at a couple of his projects in the past few years, starting with The Mandalorian Season 3. This is the most unfocused season of television that I've ever seen, and it does not even come close. There's no real theme here. The plot of Taking Back Mandalore takes a backseat until the very end of the 6th episode, where the Darksaber is handed over in such a way that makes it lose its story significance, and the reconquest of Mandalore is so basic. Dave Filoni does things like this so commonly, and it's because if nothing definitive can be said about a project that you make, then everybody walks away filling in the gaps in the ways they want. Take Ahsoka, for example, and the infamous Episode 5. By infamous, I mean that everybody loves it, and I hate it, because it's inconsistent and it doesn't make much sense within the context of the story. There's supposed to be some big character arc payoff for Ahsoka, but it's a conflict that we've never really seen her have, and Anakin just spouts out this line,
"Live or die,"
over and over again without really saying much. I'm not saying that people can't have different interpretations of art, but when art cannot be objectively quantified, it's not good. Full stop. For all the complaints I have about the prequels, they dealt with complex themes. I mean, not in a very good way most of the time, but still, the message of corruption and a fall from grace spurred on by desperation are still definitely there. Objectively, that's what those films are about. Ahsoka has nothing objective to say about its themes, and the themes it does try to engage, the characters' actions are completely incongruent and betray said themes. Let me know if you want to hear a more extensive breakdown. I'll make a full video on it at some point. All in all, there have been 22 seasons of Disney-produced canon television, not counting Young Jedi Adventures. 18 if you don't count Rebels, and from those, I can count on one hand the amount of good television series, and I assure you, I am not using my thumb. Rebels is Dave Filoni's best project, and it's not even remotely close. Editing rem here. I just watched the Maul finale, and it might be better than Rebels, but it's really hard to say after just one season. I'm definitely going to make a review on the series. Alright, back to the video. Now, let's go back to what I said a few minutes ago. I don't look at a show like The Acolyte and think, this is awful. I look at a show like The Acolyte and think, gosh, they fumbled this fantastic concept. Most of the time, I just feel disappointment. Very rarely does something actively infuriate me as I watch it or leading up to me watching it. However, I feel extremely insulted by The Mandalorian and Grogu. The fact that Star Wars' return to the big screen features a cash grab character who breaks canon by his very existence, that is another subject we can discuss later, and a tired lead actor who's just phoning it in, built upon the foundation of a broken show that should have ended after one season and looking like it was shot on an old microwave. At the same time, I'm still going to go see it, because it's still Star Wars. That's why I watch every new thing that comes out, even though most of it is incredibly awful. This franchise has captivated my imagination since I was 6 years old, and I've never lost any love for it despite its highs and lows. So yes, my butt will be firmly planted in the IMAX seat on May 22nd. Literally nothing could make me happier than if this movie actually turns out to be good, like a Sonic situation, but for a whole film. Not to say it's all bad, obviously Andor exists, and I thought that Maul Shadowlord was quite enjoyable most of the time. Once again, nuance exists, but you'd be lying to yourself to say that things aren't bad, and doubly so if you say that things can't be better. They absolutely can be, and we shouldn't settle for less than we know these studios are capable of. I mean, look at the long history of beloved storytelling that this franchise has provided. Look at Andor. The fact that the same franchise made this garbage that makes fanfiction look like Chris Nolan while also putting out one of, if not most, intellectually deep and well-crafted television narratives of the decade is absolutely nuts to me. There's something about this and this that is completely absent from pretty much everything else in the catalog, and perhaps that's a discussion for another time. That should just about do it for today. I think y'all know that I love this franchise very dearly, and I'm absolutely very passionate about its future. Leave a comment down below and join the discussion, and consider following me on my mains both here on Instagram and on Twitter. I make music and kind of just yap, and I'll put those links in the description. Thank you all so much for being here, and God bless.